do I have pesos? I don't even use pesos.
Oh, Wayne, get used to that. Get used to that euro there, Wayne. You might want to hang on to those.
Fuck you, Mikey.
You might want to hang on.
I might come
You
after
might
you.
want to hang on to those, Wayne. You
No, to
might
be
be
fair, the way-
needing those, Wayne.
The way we're carrying on, mate, it'll be $1.
Yeah.
It will be, because, no, straight up. There's been very close to parity with the dollar and the pound this week, especially with what's been going on.
But them's the breaks.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Exactly.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Podcast. No sweet spot swoom. I didn't warn them. The mics have been hot for like the last 10 seconds. That's how I like to break them in.
Mike,
We're just
My-
talking
I-
about the British pound and its demise. So
Pound
Mike,
is
yeah,
a sub word for something
can't-
else.
I kind of know because I've got Twitch up on my iPad as well.
It's a bit, Wayne.
Twitcher.
If you say it's a bit, you
Yeah.
know.
It's a bit what?
And that has been the Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Take care of yourselves
That was
and
fun.
each other.
That was fun while it lasted.
Cheers, everybody.
Welcome to the Podcast, the first podcast to Wayne. Tell him.
Eat beetroot with your nose.
Is beetroot what Yoda was eating in his hut on Dagobah?
No,
No, that was root leaf.
yeah.
I was close.
God, that's a very obscure reference, Mike.
That went like
Sorry.
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away kind of shit right there.
Sorry.
Yeah, you made me sort of like question my nerdgasms.
Yeah, that was weird.
Sorry.
I actually felt uncomfortable with that. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a thing where I memorize movies so I can watch them because I wouldn't have. So I can
Just
watch
go.
them when I don't have. Yeah, so I would get in trouble a lot, and you'd have to sit out in the hall. And I'd fucking watch a movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I would just use my brain to download it.
So was it Peter Griffin or Homer Simpson where he says, "I'm just going to sit here and listen to music in my head"?
I don't know.
I think Homer Simpson had the music in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like do 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 kind of thing. Yeah,
Whilst Mr. Burns was shouting at him.
exactly.
Oh, so you guys
Simpson,
don't.
eh?
So you guys can't. You guys don't do that.
No,
That's just a me thing.
that's
Yeah.
just you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your mutant power.
Yeah,
There
I
you go.
do have a ridiculous recall, but it doesn't work right away.
Mm.
It takes like a month, and then I can never forget it.
That's Mikey. That's not recall. That's a delay. Just like this.
I wanted you to feel the pain of that dead air. I wanted you to feel the gravity of that moment. I wanted you to
It's
sit in it. And I was like, oh, should I help him out? No.
No.
Long live the king.
No. Speaking of that, good job, Wayne, for old age.
But them's the
Cause
breaks.
of death. The cause of death officially. Nothing else. Then on her death certificate, cause of death 1A, old age, 2 words. Good job.
Yeah. Well, she had a bloody good go. That was a fantastic innings. Well done, Lizzie.
No shit. No, but everybody's like, no, what happens? Like, this guy? That guy?
Yeah. The thing is, if you look at Chaz, like he looks broken already. It's like, oh, I've got to do this now, have I? Fuck's sake! I've got to sit in there and wear that hat and do all that. He don't want to do it. He's not interested. He really ain't. And his entire life, his mama
Mm-hmm.
has been doing it, and I think he's just dreaded it. He's always just wanted to be Prince Charles. He just wants to be Prince Charles. And then Mama shuffles off this mortal coil,
Mm-hmm.
and he's sitting there thinking, maybe I can give it a Billy.
Yeah.
Billy, I might abdicate. I can't be asked.
I mean,
It's a bit much.
do you think that that could actually happen where Charles would be like, "Look, I don't want to do any of this. You're young, you're full of life. Could you
Yes,
handle
I,
all this for me?"
I think. I mean, he's 74
Hmm.
now. To be given that sort of prestige at 74, that's graft.
Hmm.
Like, and the thing is, he's very politically active in the sense of he's very much for the eco warrior kind of thing.
Hmm.
But
Um,
them's the
and
breaks.
now his opinion has now gone away, and I think that stifled him as a human because he's
Yeah.
always been active when it
Hmm.
comes to sort of like he talks to trees and he's very much about the ecology uh, and looking after the environment, and now he can't.
Right. Because
Uh,
you can't have a political
you
opinion
can't.
in that seat.
No, you can't. It's a figurative. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Position.
Hmm.
He can't have
Sex
any
position.
political.
Oh, political position. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he can't have a political position because of
because of his title, and
the
it's
head of this
he
organization.
yeah, and he's basically symbolic.
Hmm.
So he cannot have an opinion. All he has to do is read the scripts that are given to him because of like back in the day when England was a monarchy. It's not. It's a democratic monarchy now, but it's not a monarchy as such. Whereas the king would say, "Off with his head,"
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Can't do that anymore. But you've had your fun, but let the people get involved. And now he's just kind of a figurative head of state,
Hmm.
and he gets a script that's given to him by the governing party at the time, and he has to sit there and read it out, and that's it. It's
Speak,
symbolic. It's pointless.
Speaking of Westerosi and Middle Earth, um, who's caught up? Who's not?
I'm caught up.
I'm
I'm
caught
caught
up,
up.
and I'm
Caught up
also caught up,
officially yesterday.
and I'm also caught up on Andor. Did you guys catch
Yep.
up on Andor?
Caught up on Andor.
I've
There's
watched
no way.
episode 2.
I was about to say, there's no way Wayne got it. It is so boring.
It is so dull. It is so dull.
Yo,
I watched episode 2 last night about 4 in the morning, and I'm like, oh God, I'm trying not to sleep, but this thing is putting me to sleep. It's so bad. Leave it alone. It's yeah.
so
Only
let's just
one more episode to go.
let's just say this. There's a reason they released all 3 episodes at once. They
Mm,
should have just been one long episode because the first two, literally nothing happens. There's
Hmm.
no like the only thing that the only string you have to the Star Wars galaxy is like two of the aliens because most of them are brand new
Hmm.
and the fact that there's an empire. That's
yeah.
it. Other than that, you'd have no idea it was a Star Wars piece at all. There's nothing Star Wars in all of it. Like it's just gritty space stuff, and it's like,
Yeah,
all right,
it to me it's not like the Star Wars we know and love, which is fine. It's kind of like it's this the heist.
yeah,
That's what it is. It's a heist movie.
mm-hmm.
So unlike where like the original Star Wars is a space opera, um,
Spaghetti
you'll
western in space.
yeah,
Hmm.
the Mandalorian that
Yeah,
is a western in space. So
Yeah.
you do kind of have a different style, and I don't think we're used to it in Star Wars. And with that, that means the heist stuff. It's not as it's not a lot of like it's not a lot of battles. It's not a lot of fire firepower. It
sword
really
fights. Yeah,
is. There's a lot of planning involved, a lot of alliances. Um, a lot of double agents. So it's going to be
Mm,
a lot more of a spy kind of style, which I don't think
yeah.
we're used to. Where we don't think of that in the Star Wars universe. So like yesterday's. the fourth episode. I won't give too much away, but it's starting to lead
Hey, what's
to
up?
what we know and love.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
for me,
no, go
I
ahead.
want space battles.
Hmm.
I want lasers. I want different ships. I want lightsabers. I want beheadings. I,
Yeah,
all of it.
yeah.
Give me that. Give me
Who
what Star Wars is.
who's gonna be the big reveal for that's gonna like tie. So are we gonna see like in the background like them building a Death Star? Are we gonna see Darth Vader? Because you know what I mean.
Mm,
There's gonna be somebody that kind of brings them into the universe, right? And I'm
Right.
kind of
Palpatine. Palpatine.
because I'm a little confused. I'm not gonna front.
Okay.
What did he steal? It's something. Is it that I thought because of my weird computer brain is that the signal
It's a
that they
map. It's a map. It shows all like positions. At least that's what I think it was.
I thought it
Um,
was like a clearance thing to get past their scan. It was like an imperial kind of
that
like badge
the
thing that was
the
blank that
problem
you could put
is
on
that
anything.
once that seal was broken, like they know where you are.
Right, that's why
So
I thought it
that's
was
why
like
they couldn't have it.
I thought it was like because remember when they were trying to sneak into the Death Star the first time
Right.
Yeah.
on that little shuttle thing? It's like, oh, it's an old code, but it checks out. I'm like, I bet that's what he fucking stole. I bet he stole that fucking little
I
transmitter, and that's what it
I
is. And then they used it
I
for
speculate that they're
for
going to
them.
kind of Manhattan Project it, as in there are so many different factions that are working on the Death Star that no one actually really knows what they're working on. So
And
when
then
it
just
says,
what backed it up into the other half, like we.
Yeah.
yeah, so like when oh, it's an old code, but it checks out. Yeah, it's an old code because it was part of this part of the project, which all comes together as the Death Star. But you've got the geezers who are working on, the turbo lasers, and you've got the other lot
Hmm.
who are working on the propulsion, and then the other lot that are working on the main weapon.
So
So
there's so much going on that there's not a lot of communication between
yeah,
the shipping, the
Right.
the
yeah,
construction, the development, the
hmm
security. So things can go awry.
yeah.
So
That's the only way you can really plan something on that level without your enemies finding out what you're truly doing. Because if say for instance you are working on a project such as the Death Star, and your job is, yeah, we're working on turbo lasers. Yeah, we've got 16 places to put in on the lower side of this project that we're working on, and you've got another geezer who's doing the north side, the north hemisphere, or whatever, and
Project managers.
hmm
exactly,
just
Mikey, this
just
is
stand
this is
there.
retail, this is retail.
Hmm. Just stand there
You know how it
staring at
works.
people doing the actual work.
Well, I'm the assistant to the Northern Hemisphere's manager.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's all like all of them work for Neil Goldberg, who from Family Guy. So Meg, I'm in charge of the turbo lasers.
It's I don't know. I don't know what the pieces that they'll bring in, but I hope they bring in something and it's not just and then you'll get the next series where you'll give you the next part of it. It's like, come on, man.
Hmm.
Like you got to people laughed at the fan service in Mandalorian and especially in Boba Fett, but
Hmm.
I like the fan service. Give
Yeah.
me give me the dark saber. Give me Baby Yoda. Give me the cool ship. Give me
Mm-hmm.
fucking Goth Midian. Your boy Gustavo. What's his name? And oh, what's it? The bad guy.
The oh, the geezer from
Breaking
Breaking
Bad.
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gustavo.
I
I
forget
always
his
call
name.
him
Yeah,
Gustavo. Moth Gideon.
Moff Gideon. Yes,
Moth
yes,
Gideon.
yes.
Um, like give me something to root for. But this is
Well,
very
this
different.
this is this is this is the only problem with Andor. We all know how it's going to end.
Yeah, A New Hope.
well, Rogue One that transfers into it. So if you know what happens in Rogue One, you can or understand, which I have to go back and watch at some point. But the the places, the people, the things that are being said are actually in that. So I mean, Rogue One, there's not a big following of fans, so I think it's almost not doing the fan service that Mikey wants. I think it's doing the opposite. I think it's trying to bring fans into the Rogue One um, transition from Rogue One to New Hope, and trying to bring that kind of style in, where it isn't just about space battles, but it is about it's about the storyline from where we are now in Andor to where we're going to end up in A New Hope,
Yeah, so
and it's filling in that gap.
I'm not a massive fan of prequels at all because I've said it before. They can kind of retcon whatever they want, and it never really makes sense to the canon. I think you should only ever do um, sequels because
Like the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
yeah,
Yeah.
The
come on.
biggest
Retcon
fucking
that.
the biggest reach I've ever seen in my entire life. Like how many fucking forums did they go through before they found that theory? Like, oh, we could just do that. Like, it was a mistake. It was a flub. It was a bad line.
Yeah,
And then now
it
they
was
made it a thing.
yeah, it was bad script, and now we're gonna have to fucking deal with it. How about no? Just do a sequel and fuck that off. You know, like, just
Pretend it didn't
come
happen.
on. Yeah, even the fact that the Millennium Falcon is a shunter, you know, and that little bit there where it's missing a piece. Oh, there was an actual vessel that was in there. No, the whole the whole thing came from George Lucas biting into a cheeseburger, looking at it, going, "Oh, that'd be a nice shape for a ship." That's it. Leave it as that. Don't try and retcon it. There's no point.
There's a reason for that, and it's this entire series. And it's like I don't want to watch a series about why the hamburger bite was taken out.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating. And prequels, like I mean, to go full nerd, um, Enterprise, Enterprise in the Star Trek franchise was just bollocks. The whole series was bollocks. You had fucking Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap as Captain Archer. No, you fucked it already. See you later.
Sounds like somebody didn't even give the show a chance.
No.
It's actually a good show. It's just got terrible writing.
Well,
I like the characters.
well, the thing is, T'Pol was meant to be Spock's mum, but Spock's mum was human.
Right.
Hello, McFly.
Tim, get in here if you're gonna call us nerds.
Yeah.
Should teach you how to nerd.
You're not nerdy enough. Anyways, speaking of nerd stuff.
Oh yeah, we got the other two.
We got a lot of nerd stuff to go over.
I actually rewatched the last Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. I rewatched that because I needed some more dwarves in my life just to remind me of kind of where they end up. And I'm really liking Rings of Power.
Yeah,
Really liking it.
I love it.
I think it's really well done, and I think because of what the limitations on the materials that they worked with, they did the best that they possibly could, and I think that the characters are great, and then the little snippets of things, the fan service that they're doing, right, Mikey? The way that they're bringing in people that we know or have heard of, and the places that we know, and trying to understand the connection between the Lord of the Rings trilogy that we know, the Hobbit stuff, and then where we are now. And I think they're doing a really good job. And I think did they say 5 seasons of this? I think that was
Holy shit!
I think it's I think they already are in for 5 seasons or so of
But
this.
Brenna, are you not angry and really aggressively angry at the fact that Sir Lenny Henry is playing a mythical creature with brown skin and has an Irish accent?
Psst. No one knows who that is.
He, he's the Black Halffoot.
There you go.
I know. No, I'm not angry at anything that they're doing. This is a mythical place. They can do whatever they want with whomever they want.
Oh.
And I'm thoroughly actually enjoying the Harfoots a lot, and I really wish that they had more.
Brenna. As a white lady, you must be very angry at the Latino elf who is ridiculously good looking.
You mean the black guy?
I think he's from Costa Rica.
Oh my god.
Well,
I'm not angry with anything.
there's this thing called the
Doesn't
slave
make
trade,
any
Wayne.
sense
He's
to
one of
me.
us.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
The slave trade.
Yeah, there's a lot
What
of
is this, precious?
there's a lot of Afro Latinos. So yeah, I can take one look at y'all. I can take one look at y'all. Yeah, you with us? Come on. Yeah, come on.
But
Come on.
he has blue eyes, precious.
Nah, brother, come on. Yeah, come on.
No, but that's one of the things that the outrage mob over here have been kicking off about. You've got a black hobbit, and again going back to Black Ariel.
That's a
mythical
whole different
creatures.
conversation. It's stupid. What's stupid about this is that we are literally talking about fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy. Things that don't actually exist. So it can be whatever we want.
La 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 la, I can't hear you. Hobbits are real, damn it.
It's all pretend.
If hobbits aren't real, explain Wayne's accent.
Hobbits are
That's not the
allegedly
same
Irish.
as a hobbit.
No, he's got a brandy foot or something like he's got.
I'm gonna jam my brandy foot in your arms.
It's so adorable because I know my wife is perfect for me. I'll just be like she said something about a shortcut, and then I'm just sitting there on my phone. A shortcut what? To mushrooms, and she finishes mushrooms with me. She knows. She gets me.
Guys.
It's hilarious
same
around
channel.
there.
Same channel.
It's hilarious
Same
around here.
Channel.
It is hilarious around here. But we didn't actually talk about what about this is what they're calling it now. Hot D.
The Hot D.
Yeah, we can talk about the Hot D.
Well,
You're the cold W.
Oh. in French, W.
Hey guys. All right. So a little bit of House of Dragon. So this is what 10 years after the previous episode.
Yeah, that made me question smoking weed ever again. I was just like, what the fuck is? What am I looking at? What is this? What happened?
Childbirth.
Yeah. I'm like, who's this lady? I'm like, who's this lady having a baby?
That's childbirth for you.
Who's this girl?
Mom. They definitely made her parallel her mother's childbirth scene, but yeah, we have new actors for
everybody.
Rhaenyra and Alicent, which I think they spot on did it. They look very similar to their younger counterparts. They speak very similar to their younger counterparts, so I'm actually not upset with them. I do like seeing a little bit more of the family growing and why we don't just focus on Damon 90% of the time. I don't know why. I mean,
I can't, dude. Ever since Ever since I finally put it together that was a Doctor Who. Ever since, I cannot look. I'm like, yeah, get us a sonic screwdriver on your dragon, you fucking.
Right.
Like, I already didn't like him. And then I figured out he was a doctor. I was like, oh, you don't belong here. Get out of there.
No, he belongs perfectly there.
You're not supposed to be in there. Wayne, what's your boy? The C Street Warriors? From that that BBC Two clip where the dude was like, bring your cake to the wall, fam. Bring your cake to the wall.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we laughed about it because you tried to show it to me one time. It was like on the same line as like the bitch, I'm Idris Elba. I'm Idris, like that little channel. They had all those little shorts, and that one guy is fucking what's his face? He's fucking the black dude with the white dreads. That's him. He's part of that. He's part of that comedy troupe.
I know what you mean. I'm gonna need to research it. Talk amongst yourselves.
No, I can get it for you. House of the Dragon. You know exactly who I'm talking about too. His name is, all right, let me just click down a little. God damn, he didn't make the list on the first page or the second page. John McMillan. This dude here. Let me bring him up on screen for you. Here you go.
It's good padding, really good padding.
This geezer.
this lad.
Oi.
You know, him.
Oh yeah.
Remember he was in that whatever he's like they were like gangsters, but they were like super polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bring your cake to the wall. Bring your cake to the wall, fam.
But he's also he's in what is that thing called? With bitch on Big Idris Elba.
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought you would know it.
No, he's like Blackish or something like that.
I don't know. All of those groups of things, but it's funny for me to see him in any kind of regal sense. When all I got in my head is bitch, I'm Idris Elba. I'm Idris Elba.
This is the Hadron Collider.
Yeah. What's this, science? Oh no, he gave him the cure for cancer.
But I haven't got cancer.
Fucking hell.
I'm fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. So every time I see him, I just put the little lab coat on him. Because that's how my brain works.
Yeah, I think that show's called Blackish.
Let's see. We'll end the show on Bitch, I'm Idris Elba.
Oh, 100%. It's just classic.
Classic.
It's just synonymous with our output completely.
Good shit.
It's just so fucking ridiculous.
BBC 3.
Mm-hmm. There he is, right there. We can see.
We're not gonna do it in the beginning though.
No, we're gonna cue it up.
So I mean, I get the wheels are churning and moving. I can't really remember what the cliffhanger was because I was kind of.
There's a lot of this past episode. It was definitely a lot of fire, both physical fire and metaphor fire. So they ended up with Harrenhal being burned.
Oh yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
Rhaenyra's lover got crispy. Got crispy.
Oh, fuck off, Mikey.
Also we had what's her name?
We almost had another red wedding.
Whatever her name, Rhaenyra, Daemon's wife.
I might start watching it right now just so I can catch up.
I don't know what. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
We got onesies from the registry, so she had to show me. So
Okay.
she's like, they're from, and then her lips just went. I was like, I was like, I can read lip kind of okay, but I don't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we got to post that somewhere. Our registry.
Registry.
I'm doing a show, baby. You have to get out. She says I do what I want.
No, she's just coming to check out Brennan. That's all she's doing.
Well, then she can fucking subscribe on fucking Twitch and watch
Yeah,
her
and
ad free. And
and
also,
then
it's September, so if you guys want to gift any subs, you get a 25% discount.
and not only that, she should pay full price on our Patreon.
Yeah, I think she's in the lead for Patreon support.
She is.
She's just using that money. To
Anyway, we actually
into
do
your
have
pants.
stuff that, like, a few things that we need to talk about, other than the
Nerd stuff.
massive amounts of nerd TV that
We
have
should
watched.
always start with nerd
There
stuff.
is so much nerd TV. It's hard to take, it's hard to keep track of. But we have some very important things to talk about. Shall we start with the most recent horrible disaster?
Ian,
Oh yeah, it's real bad.
It's bad.
Ian, you can't park there, mate.
Ian, you can't come in. Sorry.
Ian is such a non-consequential fucking name. He's like, oh, it's fucking Ian, isn't it? He's always doing this. Turns up with a
This is
basket,
the only
basket of
problem
fruit.
with naming these disastrous like hurricanes after like people names. Now like
All
the name
Ians.
Katrina is
Oh.
done for.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Maria is done for.
Yeah.
It's just protocol, though, isn't it? Like,
It is.
really and truly, you should say like, this is shit fuck.
Yeah.
Hurricane shit fuck.
And
Destroyed everything.
They pre-name, so every year they come out with a list of these hurricane
Yeah.
names.
And they're all alphabetical.
They're alphabetical. They switch off between the male and female names, and they release them every year. So you can look at it and you can see whether or not your name is a part of this list. My brother's name is Colin. They had a tropical storm named Colin this year. My cat's name is Fiona. They just had Fiona. So these names, it's like they connect to real things and peoples. And so Ian, I had a teammate, a curling teammate named Ian. So every time I'm like, oh my god, Ian, I hate the name Ian.
Apart from Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh, Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is crazy. And this is you guys are if you guys are watching, this is satellite footage of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, you kind of get sucked into watching it because, would you say, Brenna, how big was the eye of the storm?
30 miles.
Sheesh.
Mm.
And if you think about like how that water is whipping around, even though it's a time lapse, right? But you can see the water whipping around in there. That's very quick for it to be 30 miles across.
I have a question. I have.
Uh-huh.
This is a completely geographical question. Now, in America, you have Tornado Alley. You also have hurricane season and hurricane places. Why do people just live there and then complain when a tornado turns up or a hurricane turns up?
They don't happen all the time.
But just don't live there.
Well,
Like my house has never been torn up by a tornado, but places around me have.
Then you're all right.
Well,
Stay where you are.
But then the next time it will happen here and it won't happen there. Like there isn't really a way of, like, if that's the case, then you can't live entirely on the West Coast. You can't live in the Midwest at all. You can't live along the Gulf at all. because
Have you
none of
The
those areas
West
are
Coast
safe.
right now, we are actually we are still in drought mode.
have you been to Australia? Australia, they only live on the edges because the rest of it is inhabitable. You
Well,
can't stay there.
we don't have water. Like I mean, the one thing that we need is water. And if I mean, you go to places that have water. Unfortunately, we also these places like you were asking about like Tornado Alley and all that stuff. That's in what we would call the South, the South, that you know the
Brenna,
the South,
that sounded very sneering of you.
the South. Um, there's a lot of reasons why places like that have things like tornadoes. Um, I know I have an aunt who lives in Oklahoma, and
Mm-hmm.
she's in the path of tornadoes all the time. It has a lot to do with the way that the land is used. So it's it's overused. The agriculture is
It's
overused.
farmed a lot.
Very heavily farmed. Uh, the water is scarce there, and it's hot. And once that is just the heat loves the air loves to go to heat and swirl. That's why we have hurricanes. Hurricanes are just hot water, and they go in these places where water is nice and hot. So the Gulf of Mexico is very nice and warm. The Bahamas, that's all nice and warm. So these places, they like really nice hot things, and they don't like people taking care of it. So um, if you look at where these things are caused most of, these are places in which you have the leadership of our various states not caring about what actually happens to the land or the water in this case.
I'm
It
sorry,
is.
I've got to laugh. I've just seen, looking at the title of this, a full day of Ian over the Gulf.
Yep.
Here he is. Look at him.
So
He's having a great time.
it's not talked about as much as it should be, and I think we had this the last time that there was a giant hurricane or something. But it really
Oh, the
does have to
floods.
do with the climate crisis that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Is the water is so hot, and it swirls around so much, and we got terrible infrastructure because these places like Florida, they don't really care about these places where these poor brown people live. So they're not going to build the proper roadways. They're not going to have instead of having above ground electrical, or they have above ground electrical. They won't build underground, which would be safer.
Yep.
Communication needs to be underground, not above ground. Um, so a lot of these places are just not set up because they're too costly,
Or
and they
or
just
or
keep getting bombarded.
or they say like the cost of a retrofit is like 10 times the cost that it would be.
Hmm.
It's like, well, then that's what you got to pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just it has to get done because
And
if anything, they should for all of the places that are in the path of hurricanes, you need to have like 18-lane highways so that when people want to fucking evacuate, they can actually get the fuck out of there. And it's
yeah,
not just a fucking horrible traffic jam every single time. Widen the goddamn highways so that people
and
can flee without running each other over.
yeah, and you have to have so you have to have that infrastructure. You have to have power, communication. You have to have water. Um,
They should have reserves for all. There should be water
it's
towers everywhere.
it's not it's almost like they go, well, it's gonna happen anyway. Like
Yeah.
no, like you have to protect the people that are in your state. And there's we're all talking, we're political season, and how much we hate Ron DeSantis, who's the current governor of Florida, and how he's the next Trump. But we're not going to punish Florida for Ron DeSantis.
Right.
Florida has people in it. Florida has animals. Florida has businesses and we as the country need to look at these as this is humanitarian. We had a natural disaster, another one, and we're going to have to protect these people and help them regardless of who's in charge. So like I'm gonna say that like if you can donate to Red Cross or these organizations that are actually going in and helping, please do. Like these are people, they're human beings, so they need better leadership. They need the rescue efforts of FEMA, Red Cross, fire departments. They need all this because this is going back up through. This is going to go back up through South Carolina and parts of Georgia,
Now,
and it's going to destroy more.
I
Water
want
is very destructive.
I want to put this to the two of you. How do we convince people that this shit is actually real and this shit is gonna affect us and generations after us? And trying to convey that to the people that have the power right now. How do we like? We've got all of this information. We've got all of these facts, all of this data, and we can drop it on their laps and go, here you go, and they poo-poo it. How do we get through their thick skulls that this is actually a thing? What do we do? Because for me, it only seems to be they're all about profit and making money, and that's it. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Outvote them.
That's a really good place to go. I think we also need to speak more about how these disasters actually happen, and we need it as part of the coverage. If we're seeing a category 4, almost category 5, that's how, I mean, it was so close to being a category 5, one of the heaviest we've seen in the United States.
And it's year on year. It's year on year.
This right now, September, this is hurricane season. This is a season because it happens so frequently that it's all because we just had one. We just had Fiona go right along the coast. Like this is happening. We need the coverage to be. We need science coverage. I think that's something that is lacking. We need science coverage. We need people to say, this is this is the water right now. This is why it's happening because the oceans have been hotter. The infrastructure is crumbling. The airflow has changed. This is all due to this climate crisis, and we're going to and this is how much it's costing us. If you really want to get people, tell them how much it's going to cost them, and how over the years it's just going to increase and increase.
But Brenna, how do we get our elected officials to make this a real threat to their constituencies and their livelihood as politicians? Like, how do we sort of like motivate people to say, no, this is happening now. This is not got anything to do with like how much food I've got in my fridge or how much money I've got in my bank. What do we do to convince people that this is an actual real crisis? It's tangible. It's happening now, and we need to act upon it. What do we do? Because unless I don't know, Kim Kardashian's shat in a bag, no one gives a fuck about what's going on in reality.
I mean, I don't have the answer. I mean, you can put, you can talk, you can have more elected officials talk about climate crisis, use the language. This is a crisis. This is it's an economic crisis, and it's climate economic crisis. You can have far more science people actually talk about this instead of just pundits who think that they know enough. We need actual science. We need to get science and the scientists to be treated better than pundits when it comes to this kind of stuff. I also think we do need to talk about the economic impact of all this. I'm from California, right? And we talked about this before. My tax dollars goes to this relief. Florida doesn't pay taxes. They don't pay national taxes. They don't pay enough in order to cause this. So when we have a natural disaster, like we just did with all our massive fires, they're not paying for it.
I am.
Exactly. Mikey is, because in Chicago they actually pay they pay taxes
We
into
pay
it.
all the taxes in the world.
New York pays taxes for this particular purpose. We pay so much. So again, if you're sick of these places like New York and Chicago and California with high taxes, get other states to actually pay in, and then the tax rate goes down. Like California is a high tax state because Florida isn't.
Yeah, thanks Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia,
Texas,
yeah,
Utah,
bunch of
all these
moochers.
places. Yeah, they really do. Moochers is harsh, but I think it works.
And you know what? Science and physics can make a deep impact on how we
also need
live our life. Brenna,
we need to
Brenna, I'm trying to segue.
Oh God, oh God.
Science can make a deep impact on how we live our lives.
No.
For fuck's sake.
Awful.
Mikey, you literally just pissed on my bonfire.
It was so bad.
Wayne.
It was so telegraphed. It was so bad.
You're out. You're done. Goodbye.
Put him in timeout, Brenna.
Jesus H. Christ, no! I'm so upset. Like, no. Wayne, Mikey, cut him off.
No. This is what he wants. Go ahead, Wayne. No, he asked for this, and now he's going to get it.
No.
I was trying to say that science would make a deep impact on the future of humanity.
Look at that. Look at that. You proud of yourself? You proud of yourself, Wayne? You proud of the work you did today? Look at the job you've done. You proud of this? Look at this.
I hope they were playing fucking Aerosmith.
Jeez, dude.
We're not.
You're just a big cornball, aren't you? You're just a big old corn. You're just a cheesy cornball.
Damn thing I've ever heard in my life.
God.
Terrible.
Well, on this Armageddon, there was a deep impact. I was talking to my friend Bruce Willis and Steve Buscemi.
You can't park there, mate.
Golly.
Come on.
No, I can't.
Man.
I really can't. I can't do it.
I guess I'll just have to put the window somewhere else and then bring it over. Because if Wayne sees it, then he tries what he just tried to. Sorry, we apologize, everyone here.
I'm up there with the comedy greats like Joe Rogan.
Oh no.
But them's the breaks.
And Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly is really funny too.
Yeah. Bill Maher as well. Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Stop. His comedy, with that comedy, he's the next Sean Hannity.
Oh God. It's getting worse.
Anyways, NASA DART mission successfully smashed into an asteroid.
Lift it off the page, Mikey. Lift it off the page.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Wow.
Basically, what Wayne is saying is that if you want to know what actually happened, just watch Deep Impact, and there you go.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the whole. Them's the breaks. Yowzer.
Okay, so.
Anyways.
Totally got ruined. So what's next?
Liz Truss something.
A couple of people have said to me here in Nottingham, this is like a reverse Robin Hood.
I don't even know who's talking. Is that Liz Truss talking?
No, that's the BBC Radio Nottingham presenter who is asking the question of Liz Truss, our new Prime Minister, who's taken over from Mikey. Cue it up.
A couple of people
Go
have
for
said
it.
to me here in Nottingham, this is like a reverse
But
Robin
them's the
Hood.
breaks.
That simply isn't true.
Which
By
bit of
far
it?
the biggest part
Which
of the
bit of
mini.
it?
Well,
All right, I was laughing at Wayne. What? I didn't even hear the question. What the hell am
A
I
couple of people have said to me here in Nottingham, this is like a reverse Robin Hood.
that simply isn't true.
Which
By
bit of
far
it?
the biggest part of
bit
the
of it?
mini. Well,
That the tax cuts
entirety
are
of what you just said.
disproportionately benefiting the wealthiest.
The biggest part of the package that we announced is
Not off to a great start there, Liz. Not
No.
off to a great start.
the support on energy bills, of making sure that people across this country are not facing energy bills of more than £2,500 and that businesses can get through this winter. We were facing a situation where pubs were going to go out of business, where shops were going to go out of business, where people were facing unaffordable energy bills. And the package that we presented in the energy statement, but also in the mini budget last week, the biggest part of that is the help on energy.
People
Now,
were
of
worried
course, we
about
also
being
need
able to
get-
heat their homes, and you've acknowledged that. People are now worried about being able
And
to
we've
keep
dealt
their
with it,
homes.
and that is the biggest part of the package.
But with the
That's what I've
interest
just
rates
said.
and people's mortgages, they're now worried not only can they heat their homes, but whether they can keep their homes, whether they can afford their mortgages.
It's an important principle that interest rates are set by the Independent Bank of England.
She doesn't know anything.
No, she is
The hell?
absolutely clueless.
She's
and
like-
this is
She's like, well, that's not written on my cue card here,
Yeah.
so.
she's sitting there going, hang on.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, these
Yeah,
are out of
wait.
order now.
Who put this together?
wait.
You know, the next time, if you guys could just put a little
Yellow,
number,
yellow.
if you guys could just put little numbers on the bottom to put the sequence, so I can know which card to read, because I've seemed to have dropped them. They're all.
Like, wait a second. This was not part of the approved questions that
I'm sorry.
So-
Can you
My
repeat the
staff-
question? Can you repeat the question?
Yeah,
Okay,
did you
my
notice-
answer is Liz Truss.
Did you notice a long pause between her response and the question that she was given? Now, Liz Truss, who is our in the UK for audio listeners, our new Prime
But
Minister.
them's the breaks.
Cheers, Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got the fucking timing right.
But them's the
He
breaks.
got it. He got it. He knows. He has the button.
He's
His
just
finger
sitting
is
there
always
now.
on the button.
Mikey's now sitting there going, go on, say it, go on, say it, you prick, say it.
You wait till I.
Boris Johnson.
You wait till I remember to put more stuff on here. Then you're really in trouble.
Smart.
I keep
Very
having ideas about things and I forget to do it. So as soon as I remember, you're a big doo-doo this time.
Okay, fair play. Yeah, so get back to the point. Liz Truss did a round of local radio interviews today. She would not go national because ever since the budget, the mini budget was announced on Friday, the entire pound sterling has gone tits up. It
Mhm.
was nearly in parity with the dollar. Now, as soon as that happens, there are so many Conservative MPs that are willing to put in their vote of no confidence with Liz Truss. She's been in the job for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and she shat the bed.
Well, she also got in at probably one of the worst times in your country right now. You had that terrible heat wave.
But them's the
Or-
breaks.
Them's the breaks right there. Then you had, of course, the death of your queen. You're already going through an economic turmoil, like most of us. So she comes in, and the budget, the budget obviously is so shit that even like the rest of the world doesn't even have confidence that the pound is worth anything. I mean, is that right? Or we just, it was just like everything just went shit all at once?
Yes and no. The thing is that the pound has always been the kind of standard bearer when it
Mhm.
comes to international currency because of the history of the pound and the history
Right.
of Britain. Um, as things stand now, because we've self-inflicted economic sanctions on ourselves with Brexit,
Mm-hmm.
we've kind of excluded ourselves from so many different things internationally. We've made
Mm-hmm.
ourselves kind of like, yeah, we don't want to deal with them. And
Right.
then, then you've got a prime minister that's come in with a chancellor who all they want to do is the libertarian thing: small
Yeah.
government, low
Mm-hmm.
tax,
Mm-hmm.
bring and oh, that's going to bring loads of business in. And they've done the exact opposite.
Yeah.
The exact
Yeah.
opposite.
It, it's
So
like
we're gonna reduce corporations. Sorry, Mike, go on.
it's like when you see like you get your first I don't know, you get your first skateboard and you're just like rolling around, you're just like laying down on the skateboard because you can't stand up on it, and you're like, I'm gonna learn how to do tricks like this, and then you realize, oh, no one does it like this because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it wrong. So I can't just
Mm-hmm.
like sit on this and then like paddle with my hands, and
Yeah.
that's
but
not skateboarding.
but if
Oh,
you sit down on the half pipe, you can just flap your hands like this, and you go up
yeah.
that side,
Yeah.
and then back
Good
up this side.
idea.
Oh,
Good
that what? Why is that man doing a 360? Wow, that's
idea.
crazy. Oh,
Well, I can't
No,
do it.
there.
I
I'm doing this.
yeah. I
I'm
don't.
ahead of the game right now.
Soon you will
just
all
doing
be
this now.
just flat, just at the bottom of the half pipe, like down in the bottom of the circle. Just
You know,
I'm
like
right, damn it.
you know that meme of that kid poking the flower, going, "Come on, do
Yeah.
something."
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
pretty much
much.
what we are right now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where America's right behind it. For a
Well.
lot of social issues and for a lot of economic things, because the Republicans are gaining traction in a lot of places which they shouldn't be, and their ideas are bad. Like they think everybody is just telling them, you just telling me that I can't do this because you're mad at God, or because you want everybody to have everything for free. It's like, no, idiot, this is cheaper and better. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a more a safer alternative for everybody,
Yeah.
and you're just
Yeah.
caught up in your fifis, and you can't understand that there's a reason why no one does things the way that you're trying to do them.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
work. It's not
and I mean,
sustainable.
it's kind of like, cruelty is the point.
Right.
Like it's about hating. It's about, it's about
Xenoph-
anger.
Xenophobia.
It's exactly, hate is the point. So, like, the abortion stuff, that the Republicans want to bring in a national abortion ban.
Right.
Cruelty is the point, and they're getting people to actually realize, hey, cruelty is what I want. I want people to suffer, but not me.
Right.
I'm gonna be you're gonna save me, but
Yeah.
everybody else, go fuck themselves.
Everybody else is my escape ladder out of here.
Exactly. It's like they're speaking directly to me, and they're saying you're gonna be wealthy, you're gonna be famous, you're going to get. I'm going to be here for you. You can speak to me, but in reality, they're taking money from the things that help people.
Hmm.
They're not getting taking money. They should be taking money for the people who sit on their ass all day and then make money that way.
Hmm.
Um, and then and because they're doing all this, they're hating on other people. They're telling each of us to hate on it. I'm supposed to hate you, Mikey,
As
and
you
you're
should.
supposed to hate me. Well, no, I'm gonna flat out say I love you.
I love
I
you
do
too.
not hate you. Uh,
No one asked you, Wayne.
Wayne actually can because Wayne is colonizer. So
Wow. Wow.
so
But them's
he
the
can hate
breaks.
on it.
Oh, in that case, Brenner, you're welcome.
Actually, right, I would say take us back, but right now I think that would be a bad idea.
No, you're all right.
I think
Can I live in your garage?
can we go back
Only
to
if you
the
call it
Romans or something?
only if you call it a garage.
Garage? What's a garage?
Speaking of
Right.
people,
Same as a carriage. You don't
speaking.
call it a garage.
Yeah, there's an I in carriage.
Fuck you.
Speaking of people who are stealing money,
Yay!
stealing fucking money from poor people.
Poor people.
Let's
Shut
talk
up.
about Brett Favre.
Facing questions about an alleged connection to a $70 million welfare fraud scheme in Mississippi. Some of that money used to build a new volleyball facility at his daughter's college. ABC's Elwin Lopez has the latest on what this could mean for the NFL Hall of Famer. Elwin, good morning.
Say it ain't so, Brett.
Mikey, go back.
This is so bad.
I just want to see that picture of him on his own.
Brett Favre facing questions about an alleged connection to a $70 million welfare fraud scheme in Mississippi. Some of that money used to build a new volleyball facility at his daughter's college.
Pause it. That's a fucking chin.
I am never going back again. If you made me go back
That was so
just to look at
horrible.
his fucking chin.
Yeah, that was
Look at that.
For fuck's sake.
You could break fucking infinity stones on that thing.
Oh god.
Lopez has the
Anyway.
latest on what this could mean for the NFL Hall of Famer. Elwin, good morning.
Thought you had an actual
Hey,
thing
Wake,
to
good
go
morning.
back
The
about.
former Super Bowl winning quarterback is back in the spotlight, but this time over text messages linking him to a former top official who pled guilty in a welfare scheme. This morning, new details in
Come on, Brett. You didn't do it on the text messages on your phone, did you?
That's
There's
stupid.
there's no way you'd be that stupid, right?
Stupid.
what Mississippi
Is that the
officials
Capitol building?
In Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
are calling the largest public welfare fraud in the state's history.
We've seen a ton of welfare money that's intended for the poorest folks here in the state of Mississippi flowing.
The literal poorest state in the union.
It's not joking.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's very poor. Again, it's one of those because nobody pays the taxes. Everybody takes from these programs that help people,
Mhm.
and they pad their own wallets. And this is
Say it
this is
ain't.
an example.
Say it ain't
Right,
so,
could-
Brett.
Can I just put
lovely
a
example.
naive Englishman's
Who's
take
Brett
on
Favre?
this? No. Mississippi is in the south, isn't it?
It's at the mouth of the Mississippi River.
Okay, so you got the Mississippi, and that's on. Does it border with Florida?
No.
No.
Okay, but is it down in that little? Bit?
It's on the
Yeah.
Gulf.
Yeah. Sorry. My geography is not.
It's right next to New Orleans. So New Orleans.
Yeah.
No, so New Orleans and Mississippi, they kind of border the big Mississippi, the mighty Mississippi River.
Yeah.
So it's
Got you, fam.
it's part of that southern coalition of states.
For audio listeners, Mikey is now just going onto Google Earth and demonstrating to me exactly where Mississippi is, which is fantastic as I live on a island.
0. That's enough, bud. Come lay down. Okay.
It's almost Zero's time, right? We got some Halloween coming up.
No, he's just mad because first he got put in here because he was barking to get in here. So my wife let him in, and then he didn't bring his ball, so then he had to bark to go get his ball. And now he wants to go out with his ball to go play with it out there. And the answer is no. You're staying in here with me. And I don't care if you're unhappy about it.
He's preparing you for children.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's
Be upset.
that's how they roll.
Being upset is totally a valid option, and I will not take that away from them.
Daddy, I want that. Daddy, I want that ball. Here you go. Here's that ball. No, Daddy, I want that ball. That's the ball I just gave you. No, Daddy, I want that ball. Okay, here's the other ball. No, I want that ball.
And then I will look down at my sweet baby daughter, and I will say, "Why the hell do you sound British? The hell is wrong with you?
I've been talking
Did I raise you to be this way?" But here's your Mississippi.
Them's the breaks, Dad. Them's the breaks.
Oh God.
So there's a little bit of like the very bottom of Mississippi touches Alabama, and then like there's a little panhandle, and then that's Florida. So there's a little chunk of land right up in here. Yep. But yeah,
so
all these states.
What is the most southern state of America?
Florida.
Most southern state.
Hawaii.
Isn't that Hawaii?
Oh yeah. I was thinking continental. Sorry.
That's a little flex for me. I'm taking that.
Yep.
Okay, Wayne.
Okay.
Would you like to have one more geography question?
No.
Okay, I was just let's say you want to go double or nothing.
Hey Wayne, how's that British Museum going for you?
What one?
The one where all the foreign stuff is there, where you guys stole.
No, we're just borrowing it, looking after it.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
Taking care of it.
Yeah, it's all nice and shiny.
Yeah,
since
it deserved it, right? It wants to be kept in the British Museum.
Oh, Brenna, come on, they didn't have the right polish.
God.
We've got like Mr. Muscle and a bit of Pledge.
Mm-hmm. Just keep them clean. Clean.
Yep. I'm zooming in here. This is where we were for our cruise. We were in Belize.
That looks like Mexico.
This is Belize. And then we were in Rotan and Cozumel and Costa Maya. It was fun.
Wow. That was
I didn't know. I forgot that this part of Mexico was even a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, all this is Mexico.
Look, if you go to the right, you'll see Great Britain.
Yeah, that part of the map is unseeable for some reason.
It's pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
Back to your man, Brett Favre.
Welfare money that's intended for the poorest folks here in the state of Mississippi, flowing to people who just simply did not need it.
A new court filing making public more text messages allegedly showing NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre pressing former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant for money because he wanted a new sports facility at his alma mater. In the filing, Bryant, who is attempting to clear his name, shows what he says are conversations between him and the former quarterback. One message from 2017 reading, "Not sure how we can help get this facility built for V-ball, but you're the governor and on our side, and that's a good thing. Actually, a great thing." Bryant responds, "Oh my God. We can do that. Just get me some numbers and I'll find a way."
Brett Favre. For those who don't know, Brett Favre was a quarterback in the NFL for 20 seasons, something like 20 plus seasons, and he spent most of his time with the Green Bay Packers. And me being a Chicago boy, they would beat the shit out of the Bears. And as soon as we got rid of that goddamn Brett Favre and he finally retired, they got Aaron fucking Rodgers, Mr. Discount and Double Check himself. It was out of the frying pan into the fire. So there's a little schadenfreude here to see him get his to finally see this motherfucker get his comeuppance for all the pain and hurt he caused us.
This is so bad.
Like, bro, you are so guilty.
Bad. No, not even that. But this is conspiracy to defraud, right there.
Just put my hat on.
Because conspiracy has to have more than one person involved in it.
Right.
This is conspiracy to defraud. So, we had a defraud scandal here in California. So, good luck with that.
I bet Brenna set the fires.
The former governor has not been charged. He denies any involvement in directing.
Oh, and shout out to homie for just totally flipping on Brett Favre. He just literally, you got my text messages? Well, here's all the books and everything since you got me.
welfare funds to Favre's project. This is all part of a civil suit filed in July that alleges Bryant and others misused $5 million intended to help the state's neediest residents and diverted it toward this volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi, where Favre's daughter was attending school. The filing goes on to claim that in more texts from 2019, Favre asked Bryant for assistance to secure more funding, texting, "We obviously need your help big time." And
Say something. I'm not always looking at you. I'm watching the screen. So
a volleyball facility.
For the college.
Right. No. There is no. Volleyball does not need a dedicated area.
Yeah, man. They
It
need
can
their own
share
facility.
it with other, field-based sports.
No, this is the volleyball center.
No, fuck off. Just fuck off.
I'm sorry, didn't he not make millions and billions of dollars in the NFL? Bro, sell one jersey. There's your $3 million fucking dollars. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Look,
you're you're Brett fucking Favre.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Rich people don't like spending their own money. They will spend other people's money as quickly as they possibly can. And this is like kind of this is exactly what I've been talking about moment, right? That there's obviously there's already lawsuits against funneling money from welfare programs to help people into not into people who don't need it, and it shows there's proof. There's proof that funneling money has happened. I'm gonna take this as a win.
I'm just hold on one real quick, Wayne. It says here in the relevant background, the first point: the Mississippi Department of Human Services (MDHS) was a Mississippi state entity responsible for, among other things, overseeing the distribution of federal federal funds from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program (TANF), the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and other federal programs. MDHS received in excess of $10,000 a year in federal benefits during each relevant calendar year. You took federal money, not even state. Y'all are fools. Fools. Every penny of that is tracked.
And these are the people that are like, family first, the children are our future, pro-life kind of bullshit that they spread, and they're stealing money from poor kids.
Well, I think it's from black kids, so it's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. Isn't that the same thing, Mikey?
Oh, there's tons of poor white kids.
Actually, there's more.
But in gross number, yeah. But Brett Favre's one of those conservative dudes too, who's like always trying to like chill out in his Wrangler jeans, and he wants to hang out on his ranch and do all this big old country boy stuff. Boy, I know you didn't get a fucking Wrangler deal, and you trying to steal $4 million. You couldn't push Wrangler. You couldn't do one more commercial for a couple of pennies.
They don't like spending their own money.
You couldn't do a couple of charity events and raise a couple $1 million for this volleyball facility. You had to take the poor people. You had the temporary assistance for needy families. That's the money y'all went for?
Their emergency food assistance program.
Really?
Food.
It's not even like emergency cell phone.
No,
it's food. They're in
like,
Mississippi, bro. They're already broke.
Yeah, they've already got plenty of poor people, and so they're just making more poor people. Oh my God! It's like it's a conspiracy to keep people poor.
And that's the thing. It's not even Mississippi money. It's federal money.
It's my money. It's your money.
Yeah. You're not even stealing from Mississippi. You're stealing from us.
You're stealing from me, who care about people that's, you know.
Brenna, I have a question, which is to your sport. How do you get the coloured lines in
Here we go.
the curling rink or court or whatever it may be?
How do we get the lines? Well,
yeah,
when there's no ice on top of it, you paint the lines and the circles and all that stuff, and then you put water over it until it freezes, and then you see freeze it underneath the ice.
See, the ice is transparent.
Yeah, the ice is clear. It's filtered, specially filtered ionized ice.
Yeah, and until you disrupt the surface. That's why I asked the question.
Well, that's why the lines get all blurry. That's why you got to have the Zambonis come out.
No. Take that back. Real curling ice does not have Zambonis, but we do have.
I was talking about hockey.
Similar. So we scrape.
That's why I asked the question.
We scrape the ice, and then you'll flood over it again every once in a while, and that brings fills in those holes, gaps.
I didn't know whether you put like you had like an ink fill water, and then like just
paint. It's a specialized ice paint, so it freezes.
No, you know what I mean. Like you put like a blue dye in.
Not in the water.
In the water, no. And then just like let it freeze. I didn't know.
Nope.
That's me being completely naive.
I answered. It's just a paint underneath the underneath the ice.
On the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time is working against us. Bryant responds, "We are going to get there. This was a great meeting, but we have to follow the law. I am too old for federal prison." These new
This is
no, you're not. Correction. You are just the right
not
age
only that,
for federal
not only
prison.
that, but he admitted that it would be a crime, a federal crime.
He's knowingly admitting that
He's
he's
saying,
guilty.
I already know the law. The law says this is a federal crime.
New court documents filed by Bryant's attorneys allege Favre and former nonprofit director Nancy New, who has already pleaded guilty to fraud in the $77 million scheme, were requesting funds from the Mississippi Department of Human Services to build the facility. In a different text exchange, Favre asking New, "If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much?" Favre has not been charged. His attorney says the former QB never knew the origin of the money, saying he only has good intentions with every charitable endeavor he has organized.
The DOJ is definitely closing in on others involved in this misappropriation scheme. They're going to determine who was connected to this scheme based on communications of people who are already indicted.
New is cooperating with authorities. Also cooperating is John Davis, who had control over those federal funds. He pled guilty Thursday for misspending tens of millions of dollars that were meant for those in need.
He's cooperating because there are other individuals that the state and the auditor's office and the federal authorities are interested in.
And the three-time MVP has repaid more than $1 million, but the state says he still owes more than $220,000 in interest. And Witt, a Milwaukee sports radio station, has now pressed the pause button on Favre's appearances. Witt.
All right, Ellen Lopez, our thanks to you.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Good old Brett Favre. See, all you Packer fans out there.
What was up with the audio just there?
What do you mean? Oh, the advertisement that I stopped from playing?
No, there was really fuzzy audio. That's why I was pointing at my headphones and.
Well, you blurred your background, so if your hand's not in front of your face, I can't see it.
Okay. Apologies.
I didn't know. I can't see your hand after that. So yeah. Way to go, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
America's quarterback.
I hope you go to trial and justice is served correctly, because I can't even, like, this makes me so angry. Like, these are it's literally stealing from poor people to serve rich people.
Let me see how much.
As we heard in that BBC interview, it's reverse Robin Hood.
Yeah, exactly.
Stealing from the poor and giving it to the rich. Yeah, this is awful.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
I will totally enjoy watching justice be served on this one.
I just Googled it. Just a quick Googling gave me Brett Favre made $140 million while in the NFL on his contracts.
And that's just the football contract, right?
Yeah, that's not the indoor. That's not Gatorade. That's not Wheaties. That's not yeah. It's not Wrangler jeans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brenna, have you watched the top? It's not Top Gear anymore, but
Grand
it is
Tour.
Top Gear.
You mean
the Grand Tour?
The Grand Tour.
The Grand Tour, but
I have not finished.
I'm trying not to.
Recent episode. I am halfway through the most recent episode.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say certain words that may get us kind of bother.
Well, then don't. Anyway, moving on.
Is this the last of it? I'm hungry.
Yeah, this is the last of it.
Okay.
Wow.
So.
Sorry, Brenna.
This is during
we're late.
Noontime.
Yeah, we're
this
late.
Is during noontime.
We started half an hour late for some reason. So we should have been done by now. So she has a right to be hungry. There is so it came to my attention that there are some rumors going around about Patreon. And what the larger issue is I want to because I hang out with a lot of atheists and I hang out with a lot of people who are skeptics. But when it comes to accusing people of things, they're not very skeptical. And that,
in what sense?
And that worries me. They hear it from one source and, oh, that source had 2 or 3 sub-sources, so it must be true. Like, no one's verifying things. So I heard this thing about Patreon. That Patreon was putting adult-run accounts that were for child. And the whole point of it was like they would be on Instagram and they would have this profile with underage young ladies. It was always young ladies. And they would say, click this link to get to this, and then there was a Patreon. And then in the Patreon, that's where all the stuff was. Right. So, the whole reason the rumor got started was on Glassdoor. And if you guys aren't familiar with Glassdoor, it's like a recruiting app. It's kind of like LinkedIn, but you can leave reviews about places of former employment. And someone said on Glassdoor that they were seeing all these accounts with all these underage girls, and they kept reporting them and nothing would happen. And then when there were some firings in Patreon because they were restructuring their company, TikTokers went ballistic, and now they have their proof. Now the conspiracy circle is complete. This Glassdoor thing was right. They're trying to shut it up, and nobody will do anything about it. I don't. In my work experience, there's been very few channels that I've had to like the federal government. But because the grocery store, we would wire money, so I could wire to the UK or Russia or like certain places like Cuba. Like we can't wire money to Cuba because the US and Cuba there's an embargo, and we can't do any business, any trade. You can't even wire money with them. Also, if you're like a terrorist, if the address or the name that you're sending to is affiliated with the Taliban, we can't send money to that person. The system will stop us, and then I am in breach of everything if someone says, okay, well then let's do this person instead. Like I am liable for that money getting sent.
Yep.
And if anything should happen, because I was a supervisor, if any of my people would do something, we had a hotline number to call the FBI. And this is just wiring money, right? This is nothing to do with young people or innocence or nothing like that. This is just as far as financials go. There are 1000% hotlines that you can anonymously report such activities. If this was going on and Patreon refused to do something about it,
how do Patreon police this? Because if you've got things like VPNs and you've got I'm going to use the term UAG, Mikey, to bridge the words that we don't want to say. You've also got lack of parental responsibility and also access to all of this. How do we shut that down?
You're going a step too far because you're doing what they're doing. You skip the skeptical step.
No.
You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. Remember when we tried to have our own little spin-off show because we thought Brenna and Jenna were being too cute with theirs?
Yeah.
And what happened? We got 3 episodes in and we were unable to upload things because we were blocked by copyright.
They shut you down.
Yeah, but the thing is,
those sexual images used to be allowed on Patreon up until about 2 or 3 years ago. And then they said, just like, what's not Reddit? What's the other one? Tumblr.
Yeah.
Tumblr decided it's not worth the hassle because they spent all their time getting rid of stuff. But there was just an avalanche of just straight up porn on Tumblr. Just straight up porn. And they were just completely overwhelmed by it. So they just said, you know what? No more X-rated anything. If you get caught posting anything X-rated, you're done. We're just going to delete your account. And Patreon has taken up the same thing. And to the chagrin of a lot of sex workers, they moved over to the 2-letter one that everybody has switched over to. Everyone switched over to that. So that's kind of and then even they said, oh, we're not going to have that anymore either. It's too much bother. And then they realized that they were going to lose 70% of their business. They said, well, we'll just do the work then.
I can't believe I can't believe you're using the term "too much bother." So English of you.
You know what I mean? But like when that question is asked and corporations have to answer that question, they usually answer in a couple of ways. Either it's not worth the money or it's worth the money. Patreon already decided it's not worth the money. Any pornographic material on Patreon will get your account shut down.
So, Brenna, no ideas.
Well,
there's other places. I'm just saying.
Just saying. So, Patreon put out a statement after this. I almost forgot. So this got picked up by TikTok, and a couple of big TikTok influencers are just talking about it, and this is where the skepticism comes in, because they have you know how like you can like record your screen on your phone. It's people like, so they redact all the names through editing, and then they're scrolling through these things of blurred pictures. I don't want to see what it is, but I also don't know what it is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So what do I do? Contact these people and ask for the links? What do I want to do? Click that on my computer with my computer?
Right.
Absolutely not. So
NordVPN.
So that's the thing. So now it's become it's a rumor that has now become an unverifiable claim.
Yeah.
And Patreon is just due to go public.
Oh.
So now, without the tinfoil, this sounds like a hit job to me.
You mean after the mass firings that they just did?
Yes.
That this could be attached to something like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're probably going to make a whole ton of money.
Yeah.
Going public. Yeah.
This is the statement from Patreon. Dangerous and conspiratorial disinformation began circulating on social media recently. Listen, that Patreon has hosted. We want to let all of our creators and patrons know that these claims are unequivocally false and set the record straight. The disinformation stemmed from a single fraudulent claim on a job posting site, which onlookers inaccurately linked to a small-scale staffing change we made last week to our security organization. This has led to a conspiracy that Patreon knowingly hosts illegal and child exploitative material. And they go on to say that their policy is to keep everybody safe, and they're in touch with a lot of things. It's not that I'm saying these people are liars. I'm saying they're wrong. And I think a lot of people are very used to shooting from the hip and being right because, I mean, we've had Trump in office for 4 years. You couldn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
It's like throwing a tennis ball in the ocean. Like, you name it, and there was somebody crazy doing it. Yeah. Well, for stuff like this, I feel, I don't know what your guys' opinion on this is, but I feel like this kind of stuff, you have to let the criminal justice system work its way through. The DOJ has been, quite frankly, never been more on top of its ball. I'm not sure that anyone could have proved that any of this is true without sounding like a Pizzagate person. What says the panel?
I think it's a healthy amount of skepticism because it's part of that QAnon idea, right? About exploiting children, right? And so it just leads that it's something we all care about. We care about the safety of children, and we all, if you that will trigger that triggers a response from people. It triggers anger, hatred, but then it also can exploit people's emotions in order to get somebody to be on your side. So I think that healthy skepticism is right here. It almost seems too perfect,
right,
to be completely true. So I have no problem letting the DOJ, the Department of Justice, to the FBI, whatever needs to investigate this. I will be on board with that to make sure that everybody is safe and all good.
Guys, I've literally got to go. I'm hearing stuff going upstairs, so I need to run.
All right.
Yep.
It's been emotional. Me, Wayne Maker from the Bin Podcast. Goodbye. Got to go.
Bye, Wayne.
Bye, Wayne.
Bye.
But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. So if you guys want to get us on Twitter or send us an email, at BinPodcast or TheBinPodcast@gmail.com. Anything else for you, young lady?
Nope, I'm good.
We're going to raid out. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. And if you're on YouTube,
bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
There we go.